Today, a lot of us finally get our hands on Hogwarts Legacy, but there are a few things that could drastically improve your playthrough and make it way more fun and thematic, and maybe ruin your playthrough if you actually skip them or make mistakes early on in the game. So we're lighting this off with our Wizarding World account, and the first thing you have to do is go to hogwartslegacy.com, which is just the normal Warner Brothers website. You click on exclusive rewards at the top, and when you do this, you're going to get some free skins and a face mask. So it lets you take personality quizzes for like a bunch of stuff and a more thematic one that you can actually port in game based on your quiz. So if you want to do a full RP playthrough like I am, this is pretty much the best way to get the perfect one for you. And all you have to do is connect these accounts. And as a small bonus, you get a really nice little hand-drawn wallpaper for like everything. And it's actually super nice. But if you don't get the stuff you wanted, you can always unlink the account and start over if you really feel like it. There's some min-maxed guides sitting around in different places for getting specific things, but I'm not really about that life. So when you make your Wizarding World account, you do the quiz for your wand, you're basically all set. I don't want to ruin the quiz questions for you. Like, it's fun to go experience it yourself, but it doesn't really stop there because you can also do a quiz for your house. So if you do really want that thematic playthrough, you can get your like personality quiz house, which I thought was really cool. But you can also choose your house in game if you don't get the house you want, which is fine too. But for me, the most important part of the quiz ended up being your Patronis. And now there isn't a base Patronus spell that's been found in the game yet, but if the other two things carry over, it leads me to believe that either it will be added in the future or it's tucked away somewhere in a hidden location that nobody's found yet, because the game is like very expansive and massive. And when I did my quiz, it was actually insanely perfect. And I had one of these enormous teddy bears like a really long time ago. And if I can get my old phone to turn on, I'll post a picture of her, but it's an old flip phone and I don't know if it'll ever turn on again. And it really caught me off guard and made me a little emotional knowing that like a random personality quiz would like automatically take me to an old friend. So I would love to see her running around in game with me. It's something, again, it was just like so out of nowhere that it just happened. And I was like, wow, I got a little Chow Patronus. It was honestly a little suspicious. So I do genuinely hope there's a Patronus spell hidden somewhere in the game, or at least in a future patch, because what I was reading in the day one patch, it didn't add it. But again, there's like a million hidden little areas in the game, and they said it would take like 70 hours to play through the entire game, and it'll probably take most of us longer than that after just exploring every little thing. And I wouldn't want to miss out on literally my perfect Patronus by not doing it. And even if it isn't there already, eventually when it does get added, I would love to run around with it in game. It's something that I'll have forever, so skipping it would honestly just kind of feel ridiculous. But this is kind of important, and if you're doing an evil playthrough and you try to cast a Patronus, you're going to instantly die, and pretty horribly, by a bunch of wormy boys. So just keep that in mind. And to get all this stuff, you just have to link your Warner Bros. Account to your Steam account, and that only takes like 2 seconds. And their servers were overloaded in the last couple of days because so many people were trying to link these accounts. So on February 10th, when the game full launches, they're going to actually implode. So try and get it done early, but if you do it in the middle of the night, it pretty much does it no problem. It more so looks like the problems were trying to connect a console account, because the Steam account's pretty much just auto-connected for the PC gamers. And they did say the issue is resolved for now, but again, on the 10th, it's going to be like when 99% of the people get this game, and it'll probably crash out again. So let me know what kind of loadout you end up getting. I think it's like a super fun, thematic way to start the game, and I remember I posted mine and a couple other people posted theirs in the Discord a few weeks ago, and a couple people were like genuinely mad about like what they got. I got a dildo wand, literally. It's a floppy dildo Hawthorne wand. I really don't know what to say about it, but that's how it goes. So I'm just going to keep it. I'm going to do my thematic playthrough. So my first one, I'm just going to be happy with it. But when we go in game, if you do skip some of this stuff, you will actually regret it or just be really annoyed. And the biggest thing is to read your skill tree. You have 46 choices with 36 total points, and there's no current way to reset your skills in the game. So make sure you choose wisely, and I'm sure there will be someone with min-max builds eventually, because that's usually what we do here. And I've seen a few people with early access already get upset that they messed their character up and just restarted. So simply just reading through most of the stuff at the start should give you a solid idea of what to go for to make the right choices for yourself. I'm personally just going to be doing my like thematic RP playthrough, but because I've played way too many MMOs and min-maxed way too many things, I'm going to have to personally like make my build perfect just to be satisfied with myself. So one of the biggest things is in an MMO, you have to do the main story quest to get all your stuff unlocked, and it's exactly the same here. You'll see some people running around with no broom, and I promise you that is not the play. Before you go explore every little nook and cranny of the map, like, you want to get your broom to fly around to those places because you are so slow walking compared to the broom that you'll be able to explore all those things way faster. There will probably be some people that want that, like, low down view of everything to really take in more of it, but there's some places you can't even access without the broom. So you don't want to get to like an edge and then be like, okay, now I have to walk all the way back to the castle, because it is going to take you a while. And when you go to the dungeons and certain hidden places, there's a lot of stuff that you need from the main story quest to actually just finish them. And I see so many people just like raging because they were missing a spell or a skill. So I've seen some people turn their game off because they press M, they look, Hogwarts is like a million miles away, and they're just like stuck there with no broom. It's actually kind of ridiculous. So just make sure you do the main story quest and unlock all the things you need to beat all the side quest stuff. And doing the immediate side quests while you're doing the main story is pretty much the best way to go. And I really recommend not running to the corners of the map with no broom. It honestly feels like a waste of time because you can't do a lot of the cool hidden things that are actually there. And I found a lot of cool hidden things, but I'm not really doing any spoiler stuff for at least a couple more days. So just keep that in mind when you're playing. There's a ton of cool things to do across the entire game, and you really shouldn't feel like you wasted time doing them. It should be something that just happens to you, you get to experience it, and you have a ton of fun doing it. Even if you have to go back to finish the main story quest and return to a hidden dungeon, it shouldn't be a bad thing, it should just be a detour. But if you're like me, going back and forth is pure agony. I've done it too many times and too many quests. I hate back and forth questing, so I'm blasting most of the main story quests before I continue with anything else. I learned my lesson from Lost Ark and World of Warcraft. I never want to go through that agony again. And one thing about the game being controversial or whatever, Harry Potter is something that a lot of us grew up with and became a truly magical universe, and it creates the question if you can appreciate art even if a terrible person made it. So the reality is Harry Potter was made special not by the books or the author, but all of us being inspired by the movies and the events that actually took place around them. I know most of us fell in love with how the magic was presented to us, probably in the first 3 movies more than anything. And when you're a little kid, like I remember, I was taken aback by what was happening on the screen, because it really just brought the universe to life. And I remember when I was in grade school, this is why I actually like Harry Potter so much, more than the movies or anything, because after the first movie came out, they had Harry Potter Day every year. And I don't remember a lot from my childhood because my brain is so damaged from gaming too much, but I very clearly remember getting sorted into a house in front of the entire school. Like, everybody got sorted at the start of the day. Then we had to go to different classes and do thematic things from the movies and books. Like, school was canceled for the day. But basically, you got to go around and do all the little workshops, like the planting workshop, you're mixing potions, you know, you're doing a ton of stuff. You got to hold the broom, you're playing Quidditch. It was nonsense, but it was so much fun. And that's really what made me fall in love with the universe, was those memories I had doing all of that stuff. It really was just something so different from anything else I had experienced when I was a kid. So being able to finally play it as a game is kind of like a dream come true. So people trying to gatekeep you from enjoying it or playing it is kind of ridiculous, especially when the magic of the universe and the game are so far removed from J.K. Rowling. Like, trying to boycott a game from a literal billionaire who's going to just make a drop in the bucket to her massive amount of wealth also sounds ridiculous. It just doesn't make sense because it's not going to affect her life at all. And I wouldn't be surprised if she ended up with a yacht called the Legacy by the end of all this, just to piss more people off. Really, rich people kind of just be doing whatever they want. And I've seen a lot of people that don't care about the real issues at all, and just by scrolling their profiles on Twitter or whatever, you can really see that they are just using it as justification to be the real douchebags that they actually are, to just random people without feeling like an asshole but still looking like one. So it's just making it more extreme for the people that are trying to cancel the game and the people that just want to have fun. But I'm pretty sure both parties agree that J.K. Rowling is toxic. I just think you shouldn't let her ruin something that you might enjoy, because if you actually do hate her, letting her win another time is even worse for you. If you feel like for a moment you will regret not doing something, don't have any regrets, just do it. Because I know for a fact that most of the people playing this game have amazing childhood memories or just love the universe. So let me know what house you end up picking. I'm personally going with my Wizarding World profile for the first playthrough, and I'm going to enjoy that, then probably go for a Muggle no casting playthrough for pure personal pain, because that's what I enjoy. So I'll probably see you in the next video or on the live stream, and I hope you have a great night.